If your business has clients, today we're going to discuss the 13 things you need to know to grow your firm by not screwing your firm up. So how about we figure out what we would do to screw it up and then think about the opposite. Hey, I'm Richard James. I'm going to invite MPS here to have this conversation with us. So Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rich. This is a fun time and exciting opportunity. I'm excited to hear what you've got to say today about how to avoid stupidity and screwing up what I just bought into. So with that said,
Number 7. Start taking on debt. Let's call it bad debt. There are some businesses who use good leverage debt to purchase properties or equipment. They use the proper debt to ratios, like they're under 60%, to make sure that they're not at risk. Depending on the business, if for whatever reason lead flow goes down, conversion goes down, and client value goes down, you reduce your topside number and you start seeing yourself breaking even or worse, losing money.
and I think debt's one of those things that's a controversial topic.
I own that t-shirt. Maybe that's
Sure.
why I'm so against it, because I've had it destroy my business.
You've said this a couple times. There are levels to debt. I've always been fueling the growth of the business from profitability and looking at it from a profitability standpoint. And how do you grow using your profit as leverage rather than taking on debt? And certainly not trying to take on debt in times when things are going south to try to recover it.
So Robert Kiyosaki put it this way: an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket.
Yep.
So any kind of debt that you can use to get good leverage to allow it to put money in your pocket because it's a positive cash flow situation, I can rationalize that decision.
Yeah, it's different.
So let's talk about the 8th item. Stop doing what works. It seems so simple, but I've watched new business owners or existing business owners who have a formula of what works, but for whatever reason, they stop and they start something new, that they get bright and shiny objects. Does that make sense?
It does. I think it's trying to add their own flair to it. Taking an existing business and wanting to put their mark on it. In some cases, that mark could turn out to be really good, that they made a change. It can really harm the business. The key is to keep doing what works while also being able to add some of your new ideas as a flair in addition to, or modifying what works already.
I want you to take 10, 15 minutes and write down your marketing efforts, sales efforts, all the things you did to get new business, to get new leads, to get XYZ. And I want you to list it out. How many of these things do you do now? It's a great formula. Let's figure out what works and let's just do more of it. The number 9 thing is to start doing something new every day. So this idea of you read a book, you get an idea, you start something new today. You watch a podcast, you get an idea, you start something new today. So maybe you do keep doing what's working, but you're running your team ragged because you come home with a new product idea and they have no time to get any traction because you keep starting something new. Sometimes new is not good. If you start too many new things over and over, a couple things are going to happen. First, your existing team is going to stop trusting you because they're going to be like, oh, it's just going to move on to the next thing after this one gets old, because they're constantly chasing the new and shiny. Second, even if they do trust you, they're going to struggle to get traction because there's not going to be focus. Does that make sense?
It does. It's easy to fall victim to that. You hear something new every single day. You're in the gym working out in the morning, you're listening to My First Million, a new idea hits your head, and then you want to implement it. But if you do that too much, it can get disruptive.
You want to keep a bank of those ideas because there's going to be a time and place for them. But it does lead into the number 10, right? The number 10 thing is stop growing, stop reading, stop listening, stop getting educated. While I don't want you to do something new every day, I want to make sure anybody who's listening understands that if you want to screw up your business, you stop staying plugged in. You need to be around peers that are holding you accountable. You need to be listening to podcasts or YouTube channels or reading books, whatever your thing is. You just have to find what works for you.
If you're the leader, the business can only go as far as you. So if you're small-minded or you're not growing, that's going to mirror in the business, because it follows your path. That's just good for people to keep growing.
I believe in constantly being educated, and I think that if you want to be unsuccessful, you need to make sure you stop being educated. The 11th thing is start taking advice from poor people. Somebody once said, I don't remember who said it first, but if you want to become successful, you've got two choices. You can go find a successful person and do exactly what they did, or you can go find a bum and do the opposite. All people, regardless whether they start into into a program or an education process, they can feel change happening, and then their brother-in-law tells them about why they're doing it. And you look at your brother-in-law and he's driving a 1982 Toyota Corolla,
Right.
but he's not an entrepreneur, and he's giving you advice. It's just being careful where you get your advice from. Does that make sense?
I think if you look at the person that's giving you advice and you look at their situation and you think that's not where I want to be, then you probably shouldn't be taking advice. The opposite's also true.
Which leads us to our 12th thing. Start to believe you're the smartest person in the room. And meaning that you're too cool for school, you're smarter than everybody else. You stop listening. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so you could listen twice as much as you speak. But you start believing that you couldn't take advice from anybody else, regardless of who they are. Does that resonate? I know that doesn't resonate with you because that's not who you are.
But that's a dangerous position to get in, because then you're relying on just you. That'll only get you so far, right? And so once you hit that pinnacle point, now it starts to tilt the other direction. If you continue that mindset, it's going to run you into the ground. 13 ways.
Stop expecting excellence. I feel like we're starting to reward mediocrity.
Yeah.
And we're starting to stop expecting excellence of ourselves, stop expecting excellence of our people, stop expecting excellence in behavior of our clients, stop expecting excellence all around us, and we're rewarding mediocrity. So if you want to ruin your business, start rewarding mediocrity and stop expecting excellence.
It makes total sense. And then bad news is that we're rewarding mediocrity. Good news is excellence is really standing out, right? It's fun to watch excellence happen.
It happened here at the Ritz this morning at breakfast. And of course, the Ritz has a reputation for expecting excellence. So there's 13 things, young man, that I think I've got all the confidence in the world, which is why I sold 49% of my business to you, because I believe that you don't believe any of these things are part of who you are. I thought I'd get these recorded for you. They were a good memory for you. And we thought maybe somebody else could benefit from that lesson too.
I think this is helpful. These are really solid reasons.
Look, don't screw up your business. Take the Charlie Munger approach and invert everything we talked about today and do the opposite of it. I think you're going to find yourself serving more clients in a sales-driven, client-focused business and building it on these concepts of systems and structures.
Hey, give some love to Rich in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe or follow.
Appreciate you.